Today we will be having a coaching session with one of our members. If you'd like coaching from me, make sure you click that join button down below or go to the description box and there will be a link to the same page there. Keep in mind, if you do get coaching from me, it does not have to be recorded. I always ask, and if you don't want it recorded, it doesn't have to be. But we're going to be looking at a Plat 2 player here, and we're going to see if we can help them get Celestial. That is their main goal. All right, so we're going to be looking at a Adam Warlock game here. This person is actually a member, which I do appreciate. We reviewed one of their games in the past as well, so it's actually pretty interesting. What rank were you in that video, actually? I forgot.
I think I was in either gold or platinum.
Right, that's what I thought, because I remember you were like, bro, I'm doing everything I can. I'm not even playing bad. And then I looked at it and I was like, you're not playing bad at all, actually. So, so it was nice that you said, I think last season, did you hit Celestial, or was it, what was it?
I didn't get to Celestial. I got to like GM1, I think.
Oh, okay, that's super close. Okay.
Yeah,
and nothing worse when you get to a rank.
My bad. I didn't mean to get your hopes up. GM3.
It's the same. It's the same. Okay, when you breach mid Celestial, that's where it's different. But I think low GM is the same as high GM. Okay,
all right, bet we good.
So we're gonna take a look at this, and yeah, pretty much we're just gonna watch it together. Since I don't know what happened, I'm not gonna like speed through it because most people can't really watch it that quickly. So we're just gonna kind of watch it at normal pace. If I see anything, I'll speak up and whatnot. But yeah, pretty much what were you thinking going into this game? If you were thinking anything, do you just wing it when you go in, or you're like, okay, I'm gonna need to maybe play a little bit differently with the Hulk, something like that? How do you usually play?
So yeah, so usually if I'm in a 2 healer comp, I probably wouldn't run what do you call it, Adam with a tank that takes a lot of damage, right? So if I have a Mag or a Strange, I feel a little bit more comfortable. But because we have 3 healers, I'm like, okay, cool. Let me kind of do what we talked about in the last video. Let's take some like side angles and see if I hit my shots.
I like that too. Now we have to be a little bit careful because we know that the Hulk, very non-committal. This is kind of the problem with dive tanks in general, even dive characters, period. You don't really know when they'll fully commit to something. And so if I were to ask you, how do you know if the Hulk is going to stay in? Like what is your key to this guy's about to jump away? What do you think?
Well, so I guess that's a good question because I really don't have an answer. But now in the moment you're asking me, I guess I would say based on like the initial burst damage done, right? So just say if he does a chunk of health off of like maybe a support or a decent amount of damage on a tank, I would probably know like, all right, bet. So he's going to be going in. Let me maybe sit back and cover him.
Okay, I like that. I like that. That's not necessarily too accurate in terms of what you're going to experience in really high ranks, because those guys are freaking nuts. But basically the one thing, because when you play, you want to try to get everybody to a basic level. Basically, you can't, just because this guy, I believe this is platinum, but the dude was like Grandmaster, I think last season or something like that. So you can't assume that this guy is going to play just like the Hulk from next game, correct?
Okay, yeah.
So in that mindset, what is something that all Hulk players will do when they jump in? No matter if you're new to the Hulk or not, you guys will do the exact same thing. What is it?
Swing.
Okay, close. What else? Think of his abilities. What does he have?
Is it like the one where he shoots the green orb?
Nope.
Okay, bubble?
There you go. If I'm the Hulk, right? If I didn't bubble yet, I'm not leaving. That's all it is.
Right.
That's all it is. So let's look at this guy.
Yeah.
Let's see what he does, right? Well, he didn't really hop in, but when he does hop in, let's see what he does. Bam, there it is. He didn't even need to use it, but as soon as he bubbled, he's like, okay, I'm gone. Right? Most Hulks play like this. Like, there's really good ones that play a bit different, but like, that's not going to be your usual. You need to pick up on these tendencies, especially if you're a solo queue player, because nobody is telling you anything. So you do have to be way more mindful and more aware. And I think people sometimes get a little salty when I say solo players, they have to put in way more effort to climb a rank than team players, or when you're on comps. But you can't rely on anything but what you see and what you hear. So getting used to these little intricacies of the characters, even if it's not a lot, it lets you know, okay, I'm not going to end. So we'll continue to play around that, and we'll see if you commit to anything that maybe he's not committing to yet. Trying to get some damage off. I like that. Now you do have 3 healers, just in case anybody's like, "You're not healing." He has 3. Okay, so like he doesn't have to be as on point because they're there already. They're fine. He's doing what he should be doing, so this is fine. Obviously, watch yourself, right? You don't want to be chunked. Dude, that guy was adamant about that storm. That guy, holy crap! That guy was serious. Okay, I like it. Now we do have to keep in mind, who got knocked out. We have the Hawkeye still. We have, well, pretty much only KO 2, I believe, right? Yeah, it was 2. All right, so you're kind of just like approaching a weird angle without really enough information. What are you thinking, right? Like, what exactly are you thinking in this?
So I assume that, or like I see that we just took point. So I'm basically trying to flank and then kind of like squish them, right? So I know that we have control over there, so they're more than likely in that building to my right. So I'm like, you know what? Let me squish them.
And now you know that you're alone, so you're not going to have any assistance. Do you feel like this is a good spot to take, even though that you are alone? Do you think you analyze the situation well enough where it's like, I really shouldn't be in any danger? Or do you feel like you're not sure?
I guess in the moment, I felt pretty confident because obviously Adam has like 2 heals. And sometimes if I kind of get caught out in the open, I just soul bond and get back to them. But I feel in order to get to that next level, I probably should be a little bit more aware.
I like that I like what your thought process is. I'm not really concerned about what's going on your screen at this point in time, but it's what's about to happen. They just KO'd, which means they're coming back. So effectively, you're not the one squishing. You're the one that's about to be squished when they come through here. So yeah, let's just say you walk through, right? You're doing your thing. Boom, 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 bam. What direction should you go? Should they decide to start flanking you? Should you go through them and go to your team? Should you try to make your way back around? Should you go this way? Like, where do you think is the safest? We'll just say A, B, C. Which direction is the safest?
So historically, I would probably choose that middle option because, again, I have the soul bond, so I always want to try to get close to my team as quickly as I can.
Beautiful. Love it. There's nothing wrong with that at all. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Great. Luckily, obviously, nothing really happened. They just kind of let it be. But I like that. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's what you need to really be paying attention to when you're playing the game. It's not just what you're shooting at or what abilities you're being used, but you have to have that forethought. If something happens, what do I do? Especially as an immobile character like Adam. I don't dislike Adam because I think he just straight up sucks. He's one of my favorite characters, but I dislike Adam because nobody can play Adam correctly. Everybody's so on the invisible woman, being able to be invisible, or cloak and dagger, just getting away with everything. Like, not many players know how to play the straight up Marvel Rivals game. I always compare some of these characters to, like, if anybody's ever played fighting games, he's like the Jin of Tekken or like the Ryu of Street Fighter. This character is like, bro, you need to play Marvel Rivals at its core, or it's just, you're going to get dominated. And so,
that's what I play fighting games too. So that was a really good analogy.
Oh, thank you. All right, so going back, taking high ground, like it. Kind of crazy going into it. I'm not gonna lie. You kind of assumed that nobody would be here, but these are just little minor things that as you climb, you're gonna get taken advantage of. Once it happens once or twice, you're gonna learn from it. So I'm not really gonna be one of those coaches that is gonna pick and nitpick on the small things that are pretty obvious once you start climbing. It's no point. Again, I like that this is actually like a drastic improvement. I'm proud of you. This is crazy. The way that you were playing last review compared to now is phenomenal. So I love it. Doing really good. All right, you got a bad habit though. This habit is you like to hold W. Now I know you're on mouse and keyboard, right? Or is this glitched?
Yeah, this is mouse and keyboard.
Okay, so you like to hold W and shoot. This is something that Overwatch players tend to have an issue with too. When you guys shoot, you like walk forward, but why? What's the point? Why do we have to go forward?
Yeah.
What do we do but just get out of position? Imagine if they had someone here. Imagine if Spider-Man. Imagine like just anything out of you don't know what they're swapping to until you see it. So
yeah, that's a good point.
You just get taken advantage of right here and there. So just be a little bit more careful. Taking off angles is wonderful, and I like what you did, but you could have done the same exact thing from a spot like this. Like, let's just go back a little bit. You could have like walked up the stairs and boom. What is the difference between where you were there and being able to take the shot right here? even hug this wall kind of like that, so that way you're not too in there, but you're using this lip as a way of getting cover as well. So anybody's messing with you, it has to be from this direction. It's never going to be from in front of you. But where you are standing, everybody can just take shots at you. It doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah.
This can be broken as well, so you can just get literally dropped into their team if you go too far. So just be very, very careful how you're doing things like this. Do you like to be, this is gonna be a weird question, but when you play, are you the overconfident type where it's like, I want you to see me and I want to bully you out? Like, what type of player do you think you are?
I'm either one of the other. I'm either the extremely over aggressive or I'm extremely reactive. Because I played Apex for a little bit too, and I remember I had that same problem. But especially with Adam, I feel like either I'm like I find myself just dying super fast out of nowhere, or like nothing happens. I remember I was playing as Hella like one time in ranked, and I was just dying constantly, or I just wasn't getting anything done. So I think that's where my mindset is at.
Right. And that's what we call kind of just like this goes for any game, but it's kind of like a coin flip play style. You don't really have a strategy that you can consistently use. It's like, if you suck, I win. If I suck, or you are better than me, then you win. And it really shouldn't be like that. When it comes to even a game like this, really hitting shots has nothing to do with your reaction time or your flicking. It's just, do you know where they're going to be when you take the shot? If you do, you're going to get that shot. It doesn't matter if you're a pro player or not. If you walk in a zone and all I have to do is click a button, there's no way, doesn't matter who you are, you're getting hit. So when you play characters like Adam Warlock, or as you were saying, Hella, just things that can be a little bit longer range when taking a shot, think about what type of shots do I have to take and how can I get it to land properly. When we're talking about Hella, I think it's a 3-tap shot for the body, or is it 2 to the head and 1 to the body? It's something with 3, I believe. And then with Adam, he could probably 1-bang somebody with a alt fire. And if it's a little bit tankier, you have to alt fire into a right click. So what you're trying to do is line up all of your alt fire shots. So do you think in this position you can line up your alt fire shots? It's not a trick question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can too. So this is a fine spot to be in, right? But we're going to continue to assess that as you play.
Okay.
So you're going in, a little fight's happening, unnecessary. Why do we use that ability right there?
Because I saw the cloak ult, but I think I saw that we what do you call it? We also ulted too, so that was a little bit of like an awareness by me.
Right. Because that thing is literally a mini ult of your own. They nerfed the crap out of that ability. So it's a long cooldown. Okay, so
Do you think?
Oh, go ahead.
So do you think that, just say we didn't also cloak ult, do you think that soul bonding into a cloak ult is a good strategy as Adam, or no?
It depends on the situation, because you're not really like, I don't want to be that person that like pans the camera out and be like, oh, you see this, like it's impossible. You can't see it, so why would I even bring it up? But when you soul bind like that, you want to make sure that it's gonna do something. Look how quickly you just decided to drop down there. No information, bro, let's go.
Yeah.
Like what is even happening over there before you did that? Technically, you've seen a little bit of what's happening here, but what exactly are you accomplishing if you do this? Them being in a bad spot doesn't get remedied by you, and you're gonna get taken out. So yeah. What do we accomplish here? And whenever you use your abilities, you always want to try to accomplish something. Obviously, hindsight, you're never going to do that, right? You're going to be whiffing some stuff. That's just the nature of humans. We're inconsistent. But you can at least try your best to do it every time. And I'd rather you do it like 70% of the time than 40% of the time, any day of the week. So with this cool drop down, even if there was no ult, she's just out of position, man. She's KO'd. I don't really know what's happening over here because you didn't look, but like this, she's done. There's no world that you save this, even if you drop down and did what you did without that cloak and dagger. There's no world. She is just out of it. Luckily, you did see your cloak and dagger go in there, but you were just asking if there were no cloak and dagger ult. You drop down to help your team, which is fine. Again, just kind of sucks you wasted your soul bind, because look, that support just ulted. And this is a pattern in your rank anyway. People will ult back to back. So you should be more aware that that's what's going to happen. because then we could have extended this type of defense duration with your soulbind. Then we would have literally like a 15-second, you can't really KO us. That's a really long time. That literally, I knew that was gonna happen. I was just waiting for it. That's okay though. You got your res. When you have the res, definitely try to be a little bit more aggressive. It's better for you. All right, Bucky Gaming. What you like? We're getting out of position again. There's a lot of the map to play with. Remember, you do not want to be so out of position to where you can get collapsed on. You can't depend on anybody. This is something that people tend to forget. Unless you're in a team, nobody's got your back. So you have to play like that. Mind your footing. Because you see how they all just bailed and just like, oh, forget Adam. Your Hulk literally jumped past you to go back here, leaving you to basically frontline. This, like, what? She could have even smacked. What? Was she there the entire time? And she just let you go? Wait, hold up. I'm just curious. Where is she? Oh, she's there. So instead of like snatching you up real quick, I know the colors are kind of whack in replay. Yeah. Why didn't she just grab you? Like, look at that should never happen. That should never happen. Ever, 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 ever. You should be KO'd here. But this is exactly why I said you do not depend on others, because they will leave you and then you just KO'd. If you're gonna carry, quote unquote, on a support, you really do need to be a little bit more mindful of the fact that, oh, okay.
I guess it happened one way or another, right?
That was, wow. Okay, well, I just put my foot in my mouth there. Just wasted literally 30 seconds talking about what was gonna happen in the next 2 seconds. But that's what I was talking about. So, and you the reason I could tell you it was gonna happen is because I've been there. I literally make all these videos and do all this content so you guys don't have to run into the same dumb issues that I ran into. Me getting snatched up like that by, well, that character wasn't out at that time, but me getting KO'd because my whole entire team just said, ah, I'm running away. It happens way too frequently. And even in really, really high ranks, it's just, people don't care about you unless you're on comms, unfortunately. All right, try that again. That happens. There really ain't nothing to say about it.
All right, bet.
It's just a team wipe. You can't really do much about that. All right, let's roll it again. Here we go. Oh, there's somebody up there being sneaky. You don't see them though. I only see them because they were highlighted. Oh, nice. So let me ask you this: what exactly is your goal when you're playing? Like, what is your target priority? This entire game, you kind of been just hitting anything. And I'm not saying you don't have target priority. I'm just genuinely curious to be in your head. Like, what exactly are you thinking whenever you approach a group of people? Like, what is your usual primary focus?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I kind of saw the Iron Man there, so that was like my initial target. But usually my goal, especially when I'm flanking, is just to get everybody to kind of turn and look, so then my team who's on like the point can like gain some space.
Okay. I like this. This is what I wish you'd done earlier. I noticed you have a pretty bad habit where, and I don't know if it's intentional, so you have to let me know, but I've watched a couple of fights during this match, and there's a habit that you have is when a fight breaks out, you feel you have to do damage the entire fight. I don't ever really see you stop doing damage to reposition and move out the way. I only bring it up right now because you stopped fighting to reposition and move away. So do you feel like, is that a habit for you, or you might actively be thinking about something in that moment, and that's why you decide to stay?
I don't think that I was actively thinking about it, but I definitely think that like part of it is when you look at the scoreboard at the end of the game and you're like, okay, I didn't do enough damage. So I think part of like that psychologically is just me trying to get as much damage so I can rationalize my gameplay to the team.
Okay. Yeah, don't be afraid. It's a marathon, not a race. A lot of people in this game, not just you, a lot of people think like you need to fight all the time, you need to do everything. You could take 10 seconds just not doing anything. It's perfectly fine. As long as you use that 10 seconds kind of similarly to here. Let's just say there was a fight happening. It's kind of like a soft core fight, but let's just say it's a hardcore fight happening. And you just did this because you had to get another angle on him, and you wasted about 5 seconds to get up here. Okay, but if do you get a KO? Cool. Then that means your whole entire team wins that fight in less than the amount of seconds it would have taken if it were a 6v6. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where it's okay to do things like that. Just make it count. Okay. When you're doing this, I love it. No problem. But why? Take a peek at your team here before you decide to do what you're doing.
Yeah. You mean use the cooldown, right?
No, not the cooldown, but you're trying to take aggro and do damage and whatnot, which is fine. I understand your thought process, but why? Nobody's using it. The payload's way back there. Your team's not even in position to take a fight, even if they were to look at you. So what are we doing?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good question.
You could have just been chilling. You didn't even have to do anything. Because now, if I'm this Loki, and I just seen you do what you just did, bro, I pinged you. If I pinged you, who's gonna show up? Wolverine, Iron Fist, Cloak and Dagger might fly up there, try to give you the hands. When you're in a great position already, why are you showing yourself? Let your team, let their team, someone's gonna be stupid. Ain't nobody just about to sit here and watch a whole Netflix movie. Somebody's about to take action. So just wait for it. You're not the carry, you're there to support. However, you could support so hard you turn into a carry. Try to do that more often and your games will be a lot smoother. They didn't take advantage of. Like, I don't even know what's happening anymore at this point. You're getting away with so. Oh wait, hold up. Let me shut up. Okay. This happened last time.
I remember it happened. I wasn't gonna say anything, so I just let it ride.
Yeah. Fool me once, shame on you. It's not happening twice. But that literally happened because you did exactly what I just said not to do, which was pop out. Let them do stupid stuff. There's no cooldowns for you. If Wolverine drops down here, grabs a Hulk, snatches him back there, says, give me all your lunch money, well then he doesn't have anything for you. If Iron Fist goes over here and starts smacking up some people over there, no cooldowns for you. If they use everything, no cooldowns for you, right? That's what you gotta do. Yeah. Just play slower. I know you feel like you gotta do something all the time. All the time, I gotta do something. It's the worst thing to do. And I've learned that by experience. I've been exactly where you were because it feels like if I don't do anything poppin', how do I win the game? I can't just like AFK. And I do understand that, but luckily you had a res, of course, but a lot more can go wrong when you do something than it will if you just sit. So just kind of keep that in mind. The more you act, the more you can make a mistake. And I'd rather you just sit and do nothing for 5 seconds than KO, take 10 seconds to spawn, take about 15 to get back to point. It ain't worth it. To be real with you though, he really shouldn't have missed the dive in the first place. That guy's trolling. I like your off angles here. This is good. Just keep in mind someone can come from here, and I think this wall is breakable, but I could be wrong. I don't know if it's this wall. I don't know. I forgot. It's been a minute since I've actually hit these walls. I know one of them is breakable though, so just be a little cautious. Okay, you're freaking gaming. Wait a second. You just don't care about nothing at this point. I like that flank res. I like the run through the team. I like that. You didn't bother going left. You didn't bother going right. You just said, I'm running straight through to get to you guys. Not only do you run into your healers that are throwing projectiles already, but it also makes it so that they're not just focusing on you, right? There's a whole group of people and you're not going to be singled out like that Hulk was. So it was nice. There wasn't really anything you could do. Once he KO'd, it was kind of fight over. At this point, just try to run away.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna talk about you just snapping twice for nothing.
I know, bro. I put my finger on the wrong keys. I was like, damn.
This part, like this little section, is so annoying to get through. It's so hard.
Yeah.
All right, not too bad, not too bad. I know some people get flamey when you don't reach 3 points, but I'm just like, bro, you're not supposed to get 3 points every game. So good job there. All right, let's look at it on defense. Do you think that your defense is weaker or stronger than your offense?
Hmm. I guess we'll find out. That's a good question. I never thought about it.
I want to say my offense, I think, is better than my defense because I like to flank a lot, but
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that one. I'm just going based off playing cap. I'd rather just go straight up. I think it's because I don't have anything to worry about when you're playing offense. All you're doing is pushing. But if you play defense and you mess up, you lose so much.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. That's a good point. I had I was playing Moon Knight the other day, and I think I fell into that.
I was about to say, you gotta be a little bit careful about that bag. Okay, so I like what you're doing, but when you're doing things like this, I picked up on it a little bit, and I didn't want to put too much notice to it because it didn't really matter. But when you're on defense, it matters way more. As I just said, you lose more when you mess up on defense. So now I want to bring it out. Let's just say, let's go back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit more. Here we go. All right, so you're doing your little thing. You're doing a little thing. Wolverine decides to come creeping right here. Okay, so this is huge. When you have 6 players, I would like for you to think of it as there are 6 points on the board. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Have you ever played, like, I don't know, just like a traditional RPG, like The Witcher or something where you just add points to a character? Nothing crazy.
Like Skyrim?
There you go. Boom.
Skyrim count?
So,
all right, bet. Yeah, I've played it.
You got 6 points to allocate for your whole entire team. 1 point is already being distributed here because he's going after. This is going to be 2 points, right? This means you have 4 points to stay onto their entire team. You're obviously a weaker team. Do you think that your team, in the situation that it is right now, can handle their team? Do you think the strength of these type of characters can handle the strength of these characters? Now, this is going to be something where you are actively hardcore going to have to think about, but I do want to bring it up because you said you want to get to Celestial. It's harder to climb this rank than any other season. Like, it is super hard to climb because everybody's smashed down and people, it's harder. So it's going to test your patience a lot more now. Looking at their team, again, you have a button where you can press tab or whatever it is on keyboard. You have Emma, you have Magneto, which aren't necessarily dive tanks, right? They can't really straight up run at your team. Then you have Cloak and Dagger, Luna, and Rocket. So do you think that type of team is I'm going to straight run at you and dive you type of team? Or do you think it's more of I'm just going to slowly push my way in when I can?
Yeah, I think it's more the latter.
Okay, so then in this theory, your team could potentially hold out on this. There's no one that can just capitalize on someone just being stupid. However, if this was the Hulk, if this was Captain America, if this was Venom, you just did what you did, which obviously it sucks that she's getting chased by Wolverine. But she put herself in that position. It's a stupid and bad thing to say, but you have to be very selfish in the mindset of things because, I want to help you is not enough to win a game. If this right here is going to cost a KO on your side, but that's one person over the whole entire squad because of what you just did. So don't put all your points into resources when they don't need them. She can handle that 1v1 because all she has to do is go up. If she chases him, she will run right into the team. And the higher you get, I'm pretty sure supports start to deal with things a lot better than they did in lower rank. So you can trust her. You don't need to be here. Luckily, your whole entire team noticed it. I don't know if they're on comms because that was a really fast reaction from your entire squad. But they're trying to help. But imagine she wasn't paying attention. Let's just say maybe the Thing was. But then your other 2 teammates weren't paying attention. Well, then the Thing runs back there. There's 3. And they definitely can't hold that by themselves. So just be very careful when you're doing stuff like this because you're not always needed. You're just putting your points into the wrong situation. Remember, the strength of the characters really comes down to what type of comp that it's in. Adam Warlock can't be too aggressive with the comp that you have because you don't really have much. But if it were more of a dive situation comp, you could be a little bit more aggressive. The same thing goes for them. So if we decide to peel off and they have more aggression, they have more power in their characters than we do, you're going to end up losing that fight.
So like we were talking about like target priority. I know for a fact here I was trying to aim for a little bit more of the supports in like this scenario.
Yeah, I think when you have the traditional front to back fighting, I think you do a great job. Like, I think you do a great job. Okay. I think it gets funky when people are spread out. And you have to pivot your screen a little bit. And then you kind of start up being all over the place. Not in a bad way, just sometimes your target priority is mismatched. Again, I like what you're doing, but this is the same exact thing as that Wolverine play. You went to a spot where they don't notice you because they're not paying attention. I love it. But before the party gets started, you just like walk out. What's up, bro?
Oh, yeah.
Look at that positioning. In what world do you not get KO'd here? If people were paying attention. Yeah. One snowball to your face is all it takes by this Luna. Did she even look at you? No, she doesn't even care. Now, she would have gotten hit, of course, by that. I'm pretty sure she would have. But that's beside the point. The fact that you're over here and they don't even notice you is ridiculous. And this is the type of stuff I have to point out because if you win games like these and then you lose other games, you're like, I don't understand why I'm doing the same thing, it's working. No, it's not. These people just don't pay attention to you. How do you improve on something if you're not consistently getting punished for it? It's very difficult. So if I don't say anything, it's going to be very hard for you to figure this out if this continues to happen. And then you can go on a lose streak and it can feel like crap. Been there, done that. So remember, when you're doing stuff like this, really let the party get started first. Then you can go ahead and start cleaning it up. Because it's not what you're doing that's like bad. It's just when your timing. It's just off. That's all. Literally, my point is made every time. I should just shut up at this point. Seriously, I should just shut up. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. I like it. See, your front to back game is just like freaking insane. Like, holy crap. If this is how the game was played all the time, you'd be rank 1. But the problem is the game is not like this. It's a dynamic game. It's not a static game. I understand, like in lower ranks, generally people tend to funnel a lot more. So it does appear as though those are the fights that you're going to be, well, it doesn't appear. It's actually fact that those are the fights that you're going to have. And even right now, they're not really all over the place, but like as you get higher, people are gonna start breaking off into different sections all at the same time and then come get you. Then how do you deal with that? That's where you're struggling. You're not struggling with the straight up boom, boom. You're good with that. Like you're really good with that. But when you get to those points and you don't know how to deal with it, you're gonna be in trouble. And so how you remedy this is just by finding better angles. The better angle that you're at, the easier it is for you to basically react to all situations. As an example, this is just a really broad example because it didn't really happen in this game yet. But let's just say they're coming from here, here, here. Most people, for some reason, stand here. But if a better angle for you to take could be here, right? But what if there's a Spider-Man on the enemy team? Well, then maybe down here. You can get hit from behind, but no place is ever safe on a map. That's literally the point of this game. So you're going to be in danger anywhere, but where are you to be in the least amount of danger? And that's where you have to figure out, because once you do that, you have a better angle on the whole situation. So I wonder if we're going to get to that point here where they're going to be in a very odd location and you have to do your best to handle it. I mean, this is kind of odd because you can't see your team. But luckily Adam Warlock's heal is kind of cool in terms of how it bounces around. Okay, so I would have liked for you to end up here somehow. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I would have liked for you to end up here because when you're standing in like an actual group of your team, you end up in a situation kind of similar to that where you guys all just get taken out. Luckily, you're not there, but you also can't impact the fight right now. That was okay when you're here, but as your team started to take the fight and get pushed back, you notice how you were blocked off from your team. This is why you have to rotate positions more often and you have to look for the better position to be in. The best way that I've found to do this is just kind of play the game out before it happens. You might be incorrect, but if you are at least somewhat right, then you'll be okay. So if we go back, just a little bit. Okay, let's just say this, they're about to take point. I would stand here in my head, right? And then it's like, okay, as they react, what happens? Well, if I see someone walk through here, what options do I have? Well, I can go ahead and fall down. I could probably walk back. You know, what options do I have? If you're 2 healers, then obviously you straight up leaving your team isn't a good idea because they're not going to be, effectively they just kicked 1 healer off the team. So that's not really what you want to do, but you want to have that backup plan set in motion. Now, unfortunately, your team is in a really crappy position. I don't know why the entire team is even there, but I noticed that you are only there because they're there. And sometimes just back off and ping back, because it was a really bad spot to start off in. You may do with what you have, and I noticed that you're a very flexible player, so kudos to you on that. But being flexible sometimes isn't gonna cut it if your team really has no clue what they're doing. The higher you get, unfortunately, I don't know why, but no one can play tanks that well. You'll have the occasional godlike tank, but when a tank's getting taken advantage of, it's a very hard game. And so sometimes you're gonna have to be like, hey, don't stand there. Hey, move this way, like ping, 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 just to get them from really bad spots, because it happens more often than you think. But as I said before, you're kind of in a crappy location anyway. There's nothing you can really do. You had to make do with what your team gave you. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So if you want to go back to that same spot, I had like a quick question.
Go ahead.
So the spot. So if you go to the spot like where you said I should be, or you wanted me to end up.
Up here, yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel about like the spot right across from it?
So like up there?
Yeah.
I think this is fine for you to, like, if you were to play this angle, it'd been fine if you just did this in the first place instead of being down there. Do you know like not the exact number, but I mean, you probably play Adam Warlock a lot. He's your main, right?
Yeah, he's my main.
Okay, so you know how long, feeling wise, like not how long it is, but the radius of your soulbound is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you know this, you do not always need to be on top of the target. You could do it from here.
Yeah.
You can do it from here. Right. And so this is allowing you to be safe. This is also allowing you to have better angles, because what is this? If you walk out like that, now you did move. Again, you do a really good job as making do with what your team does, but they just shouldn't be doing what they're doing in the first place. But if you walk out and we're doing this like most people do, you're just going to get smacked by stray bullets like the rest of the entire team there. Just like how you smack people with stray bullets when you fight. Again, you're like team versus team game fight is great. Honestly, getting smacked with a stray atom shot is deadly. Not even gonna lie, you never want to do that. But yeah, I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, no, that was good.
Okay. So again, I mean, there's nothing you can really do here. Somebody got picked, and from there, the game's over. I will say, just a little quick thing. It's not a lot, but it is something to think about because it could snowball. In the higher rank that you go, the faster it is your games are going to be snowballed on. And when I say something about snowballing, it's where your team just gets ran over repeatedly. Boom, 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 back to back to back to back to back. And you cannot find your footing. That's what happens when you start staggering. This fight was over before you even KO'd yourself. Like right here, y'all not winning this. So I would like for you to back up just a little bit. And you back up and go back in. Again, I would have just liked you back up without getting that low, and then just kind of find your bearings again, let your team play it out, see what's what, and then come back like you did. After that, 2 got picked off, you're not doing anything. You don't have ult, game's over. Just leave. This is the type of stuff that's going to start stalling your games and getting you rolled on. There's nothing you can do. I don't know why she did that. That literally got my goat. That type of stuff makes me mad. So, like, there ain't nobody alive right now, buddy. What was that ult for? Like, support ults drive me wild. It does. But, I mean, you literally just said, what bridge are we jumping off of? The one down the street? Yeah, let's go. Like, that's literally what she did. Like, you are part of the problem here. So not only are we going to be down an invisible woman, we're also going to be down you. But let's just see if there's any ramifications from that, or if we're chilling. Okay, that guy is a freaking monster. He is a rank terrorist. What is that? Oh God. Okay, well. Can you say there's a ramification of you just staggering?
Yeah, there definitely is.
Right.
Because I just respawned and our Hulk just died.
Which means that now we're down a tank. Oh, looks like we're down a cloak and dagger. What now? Now, if this was higher rank, these dudes would be pushing like crazy. Like, you wouldn't be able to play the game anymore. It gets to that point where they get so aggressive, makes you not even want to play no more. Just turn off the PlayStation, turn off the PC, the Xbox, whatever. Because it gets to that point, like, it's nothing you can do. Luckily, this rank hasn't learned that yet. So it's a little bit more forgiving. And this is why I always tell people, no matter the rank, if you want to practice, if you want to get better, it is 1,000% important that you learn in lower ranks, because you're going to get abused when you get to higher ranks, and then you're going to start demoting and it's going to feel like crap. So be careful. Luckily, they gave you your bearings back again, as I said before. So we're good. But you could just see we wiped twice, so to speak, because we decided to play how we played. This fight's looking a little sus. Rock is trying to give you the hands.
Oh my god.
He's so annoying because he's so hard to hit. Hey, I don't mind it. Well, I mean, I do mind it because it doesn't really accomplish anything. I understand what you're doing, but when I say I don't mind it, it's like I don't mind that you did it here, but just in the future, remember, that's a very long cooldown. Treat it as such. If you think of it like an ultimate, that's what helps me. Think of it like an ultimate, and you won't waste it as much as you do.
Yeah.
Because now what if you need it? What it? Bro, your tanks. Your tanks don't care. No, I respect it. It's not gonna win games. Oh no. Oh boy.
Yeah, I know.
Oh no.
I blow the respawn too. That was bad. Yeah.
Back. And this is what I'm talking about, how they snowball. Like, it's very hard to get your bearings back when people are staggered. This is really why you want to try to run away from the bad fights. I don't know if have you ever seen any of my streams when I play? It's not an outing situation. Just have you ever seen any of them?
I've only been to like one, and but not a whole lot. I don't usually watch streams. I'm more of like a video.
Was it low rank? Do you remember?
I just remember you were playing Hawkeye on a controller, and I was like, what the hell?
Okay, yeah, that was.
I was just like, yeah, this guy's a gamer. Hawkeye on controller on PC. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the reason I brought that up, yeah, okay. But anyway, the reason I brought that up was because I take a lot more risks when I'm in low rank. I don't know if many people can pick up on this. If you guys can, let me know in the comments below. But I take a lot more risks in low rank, and I might look like I'm trolling, but I can't limit test as much as I want to in high rank. It's impossible. You would just get read over. So when I play on lower rank accounts, I try to test more as much as I can, so that way I would know what I can and can't get away with in higher ranks. A lot of your decisions that you're making is very, it's like you don't expect to get ran over. And again, it's very hard to climb this season. But I do want to ask, do you feel because you have a platinum label that you shouldn't be here and these games should be a breeze?
And there is an element to that, but like I would say I'm a little bit more open-minded. Okay. Like I wouldn't say I'm like one of the, I don't know, the quote unquote stereotypical rank players. Like I don't know if you ever seen those Siege videos that Jinxie does, but like the Diamond player said he belongs in Masters, so we had him 1v1. I'm not one of those guys. Like
I've seen some thumbnails.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I'm not like that, but at the same time, like I feel like I went through platinum very fast the last season, and then now this season I'm just like going back and forth.
Right. The reason why this happens, and it's not a you thing. Remember, I used to coach League of Legends for a while, and players run into this thing where it could be subconscious. This is why I'm bringing it out of you, because it will make you play better. People subconsciously think because I've been a higher rank, or I was a higher rank, I don't need to think about the game at a higher level because this is such a low rank. And subconsciously, it could be thinking like that. I used to think like that a very long time ago until I started coaching. Because when you coach people, you start seeing stuff that you do, and it's like, oh my god, it looks way different on your screen. But I've been doing that myself. So what it is that you stop trying to improve on the little things. And this is what happens when I smurf or when I play on lower rank accounts, different characters, whatever. I'm learning every single game. There is not one game in bronze, silver, gold where I'm just like, I do what I want. I'm learning. And so I think that would help you a lot. Again, I'm not saying you just are blowing off like being in this rank,
Yeah.
but it is possible if you feel stuck, it's because you're not doing that anymore and you're just trying to play games to get through it. And that is going to hurt you more than help you. So every time you play, anytime you do anything, really try your best to be like, okay. Just as an example, being here. Do we still need to be here? No. And if the easiest way to do it is just wait till you KO. When you KO, you can easily figure out what you should and shouldn't be doing. But the fact that you did one mistake on attack and you do the same mistake on defense really goes to show how much you're improving at certain things. Because you made the same mistake twice. If you were improving, you wouldn't do it twice. One thing that I will say, and I don't want to draw this on for too long, but one thing that I will say is, for me, I will not make the same mistake twice in a game. I might make it the next game, but I guarantee if I screw up any type of way, unless I'm tired, any type of way in a game, I will not mess up again that same way. If that is a mentality that you can bring to your own game, I guarantee you will be climbing faster than you have before. Because what this is doing is it is getting you rid of your habits. Although it is okay to make it again, you don't want to put too much stress on, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. No, because when you do it, you'll know that you did it and just don't do it again. Next game it might happen again, but you can easily fix that one more time and just fix along the way. The more you become consistent at doing that, the easier it is for you to kick that habit. Oh, I shouldn't. Oh, I shouldn't. Oh, I shouldn't. Oh, I shouldn't. And by then you just stop doing it. You just kept slapping yourself on the wrist. You're like, oh, I don't even do that anymore, right? I'm pretty sure there's a habit that you've had before that you can easily remember and be like, yeah, I used to be like that too, and now it's gone. I don't do that no more, but that was like horrible. Like everybody has something like that. So
so then how do you deal with sometimes like I know for a fact sometimes like when I play, I'll have like 4 different things I'm trying to remember and work on. So how do you pick which one to prioritize like in any given like match?
That's beautiful. I said I did a report, but I didn't do a report on it. But I researched it quite a bit. And there's something that we have just as humans where it's called practice and performance. And maybe you've heard of it before, but your brain can't do both at the same time. It's very hard to do. And so when you practice, you need to understand that you're practicing. When you're performing, you need to understand that you're performing. As an example, do you think Beyonce practices why she performs?
No, she's just out there just singing.
Right. There's no reason for her to think about anything other than what she's doing. It's the same exact thing on here, right? It's like, well, how am I going to practice if my brain automatically loves to do what's easier? If my brain is like, oh, I'm in a tense situation, I got to go back to how I usually play and revert. You're not learning anything at that point. If you want to improve and work on what you're working on, work on it. Even if it gets you KO'd, even if people yell at you, whatever, work on that. But a lot of what people generally tend to do is say, I want to focus on angles this match. And what they'll do is they'll focus on angles for like the first 5 minutes and then just default back because they're losing or default back because they don't have any KOs. That is going to hurt you. So as you play your game, just establish, is this a practice game? Are you learning anything in particular? Or is this a performance game where I'm just playing? Once you do that, it'll be a lot easier for you to play your games. When I'm learning Black Panther, good gravy, that character is stupid. But when I'm learning that character, I'm not thinking about, let me focus on my positioning and what walls I can climb up. And no, one game I go in, I need to practice my combo. I'm KOing 82 times, but guarantee I'm gonna get this combo by the end of this match, and I will. Right? Maybe another game, what walls can I do? So I'll maybe do 2 swipes and go up a wall. And I'm doing that for literally the next 2 or 3 minutes because I'm practicing it. So the same thing can be said for you. I wouldn't try to do them all at once, but I will try to put in your mind to practice it. So just give me an example before we close out here. What is something that you've tried to practice on and you just felt like it's not clicking for you?
So like sometimes I'll like I don't know, off the top of my head it's kind of it's kind of like difficult. But I guess my thing is just I don't have one off the top of my head, but especially since maybe this has been like what 30 or 40 minutes. I don't know. It felt like an hour, but a
That's
good
okay. I
hour.
usually give an
But
hour.
what
It's okay.
but what I'm saying is though, it's like sometimes I'll get so focused on doing, like you said, angles that I forget that I have my ultimate and to be properly positioned for my ultimate, or like I'll be so focused on not using soul bond in a certain way, and then I'll end up just not healing at all as much as I should, or not, propping up certain characters who are getting low. So I guess what my question is, do you have at least one or two things that I could just sit and focus on? Like, how would you distill this entire video into that?
Okay. Well, to answer the first part of that, that's going to happen. We can't focus on.
Yeah.
There's just too many things to focus on in a game, period. And then let alone focus on what you're practicing, let alone focus on healing people. It's a lot. So you are going to miss out on some things because you're too focused on another. Even if you're not practicing, if I'm playing Hawkeye and I'm trying to land headshots, best believe Spider-Man about to creep up on me. It's just gonna happen. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, I wasn't even paying attention. That's the exact same thing you're just mentioning, except the difference is you're practicing and I'm looking for a headshot. It's the same thing. In terms of what we can kind of sum this video up into would be something like focus more on the reasoning behind what you're doing, whether it's positioning, whether it's ability usage. A lot of what you're doing might not have a reason behind it. And if there is a reason behind it, think about your timing. Because again, a lot of what you're doing, if it's a good thing, then the timing's off. So you have thinking about what you're doing, the timing at which you're doing those things. I would say this might be a little bit harder to do, but I would say try to use your pings more often. I can't see them in game, and I don't know if they're ever going to put that in the game. I don't know how weird that would be. But if you're not using your ping, try to use your pings, especially when you think your team is in a crappy spot, because that was a crappy spot, and you were just kind of forced to deal with it. So
Yeah.
I would probably do something like that. And then just kind of like the target priority when people are just in every different direction. Again, you're very good at like fighting head on, but if people are in multiple spots, you seem to not really know what your goal of the fight is other than to pop damage. And it's okay, but remember, every character in this match is not just a support. Now, I don't know why some people think DPS focus is just support. It's not. What you're focusing on when you're doing damage is what character at any given moment, in that moment, it's a threat to your team. And so we can actually go to just a random team fight here. Where you are. Ooh, okay, that was a bad spot, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, gonna crash? Oh, there we go. So, in this, oh god.
Yeah, that was a...
Yeah, I thought I got past that. I guess I didn't. Okay, in this moment. This is cool. Oh, you freaking Forrest Gumping it over there. Okay. So, so if in this situation, let's just say you're up there, all right? You're chilling up there in that let me come up a little bit. So you're chilling up here. That's where you are, doing your thing, looking down. At this moment, what is probably a threat to your team? So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see the characters a little bit better. But at this point in time, what exactly is a threat to your team?
I guess it would be the Emma, right?
Where's their fifth one? Am I crazy? Or sixth one? Can I count? 2, 5? Am I crazy? Oh, she's a... Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I really just gotta know where that's like. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Okay, so anyway, yeah. So in this situation, you know, who would you focus? Well, Emma isn't really a threat to your team. She's just a threat to the Hulk, but the Hulk is in melee range, so everybody in the mama's a threat to the Hulk. That's not really going to solve anything. The threat to your team is what? Well, indirectly, you could say the threat is the threat of those two, but directly, these are the threats at this point in time. Because these people keep them alive to do their job. So it's not just about who's closer to who, it's about who's allowing who's to do their job. In this particular instance, if I were up there, I would be trying to pop that rocket or pop that cloak and dagger. And you can even take this one step further. Who did you see ult last time? Well, if we go back, I'm not going to go back because I got cheats, but we can see that Rocket was the most recent to ult. She was the second most recent. She hasn't ulted in a while. So who's the threat at this point now?
Maybe the cloak.
We should take her out before she ults. We win this fight. This is something that I usually do a lot, and people don't actually do it, which is I'm shocked. In my rank, I mean, people don't do it in my rank, and I'm shocked. And it's like, bro, this is free low. But basically, if you know that there's a support getting ready to pop their ult, KO them before they can. You will win that fight. If they decide to do it again and get out of position, let's just say you know that Cloak and Dagger was KO'd. You know she has an ult, and you're right there doing what you're doing. You know she's getting ready to come back. KO her on her way back to the team. That's going to win you that fight. So you're neutralizing the threat. The threat isn't just who's closer. The threat isn't just DPS. The threat isn't just supports. It is who is the threat at that point in time. And then you focus on that. And it could be anything. You just have to figure it out. Now, obviously, that is a very hard thing to do. That is a very hard thing to put into like a simple phrase because it's so dynamic. There's so many options every single second. It is something you're gonna have to kind of just get a hang of. But if you think about it more often, you'll start noticing like, Black Widow's sniping over there, but she doesn't really have an angle on any of my supports. Normal people would just, let me hit the Widow. Why? And who is she damaging if it's just a tank? He's getting blasted by everybody anyway. Right? If Black Widow's looking for somebody to walk up and nobody's walking up, what damage is she doing? Right. She's doing none, right? Because she's looking for someone else, not the tank. So why would you even try to mess with her? You can go mess with somebody else that's doing something else. And so that's how you figure out what the threat is. When you're playing Adam Warlock, it is important that you find that threat. I have a video actually playing Adam Warlock, and I talk more about that. I can actually link that to you if you haven't seen it already. It's one of the how to climb from whatever rank series. Have you ever seen that video?
Yeah. No, I haven't. Link it. I'll watch it after this.
Okay, yeah, that is when I go over just kind of target priority, and I was playing Adam, and I was sitting in specific locations and focusing on specific people. I obviously know more now than I did before, but it's really just a good stepping stone to get your brain into that cognizant type of thinking for that priority. So anyway, that's that. For the most part, though, I think you're doing a very solid job. It's just the little tricky things is what trips you up. And then you just start behaving kind of wildly. It's like you're composed, and whenever it's not going to how you're used to it going, you just like spill all over yourself, and your team just gets wiped, or you just end up in a funky situation where you're KO'd. It's always something like that. And then just the timing. Timing is crucial. So yeah, that's all that I got for you. Do you have any final questions or concerns or anything like that?
No, sir. I think you kind of covered everything that I was hoping got covered, and I think you gave me some stuff that I can kind of implement. And then when I come back, hopefully I'll improve on that, where you'll either see me taking steps to improve and then kind of tweak. So, yes, sir.
Right. Yeah, whether or not you get it in review form or you want to meet again, I'll make sure that we focus more on those particular things just to see how it improves. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, for sure. Have a good rest of your night, and of course, thank you for supporting the channel. I mean, it means a lot.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, man.
Peace lately. And for the rest of you guys, thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. If you guys would like coaching, of course, link in the description below. Check that join button or check the description and it will be there. I will be popping another video out on Sunday. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, you know what I always say. Think you guys should do what? Popping often. Pull often.